For 10 years, Sarah lived in darkness. The basement of her stepfather's home had become her prison, cold, damp, and filled with the memories of a life stolen from her. She was just 8 years old when her mother married him, and at first, it felt like a new beginning, but it quickly turned into a nightmare. Her stepfather, a man of shadows and whispers, transformed into a monster. Sarah learned to hide, to stay silent, and to avoid his wrath. The basement was her world, filled with the echoes of his anger and the faint hope of escape. Days turned into months, and months into years. Sarah found ways to cope. She drew pictures on the walls, stories of the world above, of trees, sunlight, and laughter. Her only companion was a small, stuffed bear, worn and frayed, which she clung to tightly. One day, while trying to scratch her latest drawing into the wall, she felt something shift. Curious, she pressed harder and uncovered a small, hidden tunnel behind a stack of old crates. The tunnel was narrow and dark, but it ignited a flicker of hope deep within her. Sarah spent hours contemplating the tunnel. One day, while peeking inside, she heard a soft sound, a faint voice. "Hello, is anyone down there?" Startled, she froze. The voice belonged to a little boy, maybe 7 or 8. "I'm Tommy," he called. "I saw your drawings. Are you trapped?" Trembling, Sarah responded, "Yes, I am. I can help you," Tommy said, his voice filled with determination. He was the first person to show her kindness in years. Tommy returned every day, bringing bits of food and stories of the outside world. Sarah learned about the seasons, the sun, and the joy of playing with friends. Their bond grew stronger, and with each visit, Sarah felt her courage swell. Together, they devised a plan for escape. Tommy would widen the tunnel, and Sarah would prepare for the moment she could finally leave her prison. "I'll be back tomorrow," Tommy promised, a spark of hope in his eyes. The next evening, Tommy arrived, breathless and excited. "I've made it bigger. You can fit through now." Heart pounding, Sarah crawled through the tunnel, the walls cold against her skin. Finally, she emerged into the fresh air, a world she had only imagined. But as they celebrated, a chilling sound froze them both. Her stepfather's voice echoed from above. "Sarah, where are you? Quick, hide," Tommy urged, and they ducked into the bushes just as he descended into the basement. Sarah's heart raced as she listened to her stepfather's footsteps, his angry shouts filling the night. "You can't hide forever," he bellowed, searching frantically. "Run," Tommy whispered fiercely. They bolted, racing through the trees, adrenaline fueling their escape. But her stepfather was close behind. Branches whipped against Sarah's skin, but she pressed on, fueled by the hope of freedom. They zigzagged through the forest, Tommy leading the way. Just as they reached the edge of the woods, Sarah heard heavy footsteps closing in. They stumbled into a clearing where a small house stood. "Help, please," Tommy yelled, banging on the door. Moments later, a woman opened it, eyes wide with shock. "What's happening? He's trying to hurt us," Sarah cried. Just then, her stepfather burst into the clearing, fury in his eyes. "Get away from them," the woman shouted, stepping protectively in front of the children. The confrontation escalated. Sarah's stepfather lunged, but the woman fought back, holding him off just long enough for Tommy and Sarah to escape inside. The woman called the police, and within minutes, help arrived. They arrested Sarah's stepfather, his angry shouts fading into the distance as he was taken away. Once safe, Sarah felt an overwhelming mix of emotions: relief, fear, and sadness for the years lost. But in that moment, she realized she was free. Tommy stayed by her side, his hand clasping hers. "You're safe now," he whispered. In the weeks that followed, Sarah moved in with the woman, who turned out to be a kind-hearted neighbor named Mrs. Collins. She offered Sarah love and support, helping her heal from the trauma of her captivity. Sarah discovered a world of possibilities: school, friends, and laughter. With Tommy by her side, she slowly began to rebuild her life, finding strength in the connections she had long been denied. Though the scars of her past remained, Sarah learned to embrace the light. She painted vibrant murals in her new home, capturing the beauty she had missed for so long. With Tommy's friendship her foundation, Sarah stepped into a future filled with hope, ready to chase her dreams and leave the darkness behind. In the end, she was no longer a captive of fear, but a survivor, stronger and braver than she had ever thought possible.